we've been working on for the last 4 years. Marvel Snap is the culmination of everything we've learned about making super fun card games combined with the power of the Marvel Universe. It's been an unbelievable honor to work with Marvel and Newverse on our first project. There's never been a game like Marvel Snap, and we're so excited to share it with you.
Marvel Snap is a collectible card game where we stripped out all the stuff. Marvel Snap.
To share it with you.
Oh, what do we got here? Z jakiej karcianki zajebany gameplay? To jest coś jak Legenda Pięciu Kręgów? Pierwszy problem jaki widzę to to, że patrzę na stół już jakieś 30 sekund i ni chuja nie mam pojęcia o co chodzi. A biorąc pod uwagę, że mam chwilkę doświadczenia z karciankami, to nie jest dobry znak. Chwilę.
Like Marvel Snap, and we're so excited to share it with you.
Wygląda jak Legenda Pięciu Kręgów. Ale pewności nie mam. There is a turn 7 this. What the fuck? When you play a card here, add a copy to your hand. If you have no cards here, lose 1 energy each turn. Mr. Fantastic, Nightcrawler, Devil Dinosaur, Ant-Man, coś tam. Może co ja przeczytałem? Ja tu gdzieś przeczytałem jakieś dziwne słowo. Ale nie wiem, nie.
Marvel Snap is a collectible card game where we stripped out all the stuff that gets in the way of fun and gets everybody straight into the strategic action.
The first thing that makes Marvel Snap different than other CCGs is how fast the games are. Each game is about 3 minutes.
Both players play simultaneously. There's no waiting.
We've taken your opponent's turns and your turns and layered them on top of each other so that you don't have any waiting. It's just your turn, your turn, your turn, your turn. You get to make all the decisions in half the time.
With Marvel Snap, we really wanted to bring it to the next level. Another example is deck building.
Once upon a time, card games had 60 card decks. You could play 4 copies of any card, which was actually just 15 unique cards. And so in Marvel Snap, we thought, hey, what if we just did 15 unique cards? And actually, the games are so fast, we can go down to 12 cards, which is still about the same amount of strategic depth, but it's so much easier to build a deck. The game is all about the Cosmic Cube.
Oh, snap!
In the rank mode, you're basically fighting against other players, trying to get more cosmic cubes.
If you think you're going to win, you can snap your opponent, and that doubles the stakes.
The whole mind games aspect does spike my heart rate a little bit. When you feel like you are going to win the game, you can double down and get more rewards back, which feels great when you win.
If you retreat the game, that means you lose the game. But it doesn't feel bad. It's kind of like a skillful damage control.
It's played over 3 locations, and your goal is to win 2 out of the 3 locations. So the mind games start to happen as you start shuffling your cards around and trying to figure out how to outwit your opponent to secure 2 out of the 3 locations.
The cards focus on the heroes and villains of the Marvel Universe, and every card in Marvel Snap has a unique ability. These powers really affect the game, and so choosing the cards that work best together is one of the most fun parts of the game.
My favorite card is probably
Wygląda jak kupa straszna.
Magic, Time Doll,
Viper, Galactus,
Gamora.
King the Conqueror. The Marvel Universe and Marvel Multiverse ultimately is so rich. How can we get all of that into this game? And the only way to do that is through these variants.
maybe you really like one style of variant, and so you want to collect a bunch of them and build your whole deck using these variants.
We'll find like really unique artists who have such a distinctive style that we actually want to turn into a variant set. So that's another way we approach variants.
It's another way to express yourself in Marvel Snap. So when we launch, there'll be well over 150 base cards for players to collect. And then we're going to continue to be adding new cards to the game every single month as these new seasons roll out.
We just really want you to see that there's going to be something new in there every day.
It's really important to us that you're not paying for power. The game is free to play, and you can get every card in the game over time without paying anything.
Got him!
You can just hit one button and you're right into a game. We try to find a fair match for you. There's no pressure on you to figure out what kind of battle you want to have today.
The skill cap is really high. I think you can play the Snap for thousands of hours and not feel like you've perfected it.
When no game feels the same, you feel like you're always learning. I think that's what's really important for a game feeling like it has meaningful depth.
We have huge ambition of constantly delivering new content and constantly evolving the meta for the game.
Frame break.
That will deliver better experience to our players.
Marvel Snap is a mobile-first title, but that's not the same as being mobile only. We are working towards having an early access version available on PC at the time that we launch globally.
One of the things I'm most excited about in the game are these incredible 3D effects that we have on
Coś, co mi się podoba wreszcie.
cards. They really make it feel unlike any other card game.
We did a lot of VFX around communicating an ability for.
Za dużo tego. No też tak trochę. Czy raczej mają strukturę startupu? Nie no, mają strukturę startupu. Oni jeszcze niedawno mieli 4 pracowników, ja nie wiem skąd tu 10 osób.
For cards, but we also started adding flavor effects that just make cards feel more like who they are, those characters.
The music especially brings together some of the iconic feel and genre that you've come to expect with Marvel.
Anytime a Marvel character has an iconic line, we made sure to record that character saying that line. Human Torch says, "Flame on!" and the Thing says,
"It's clobbering time! Hulk smash!"
Marvel Snap is like a continuation of the fandom that many of us have had for Marvel since when we were toddlers. Now we get to pour all that passion into something that's really going to make it out there.
On Marvel Snap, I get the luxury of doing what I love. And what I love is art.
You just geek out over the comics that you used to read as a kid and spend every day looking at something that is going to blow your mind. It's just a dream come true.
We hope you enjoyed that first look into the passion and excitement we put into making Marvel Snap. It's been an incredible journey. Thanks to our partners at Marvel and Newverse for helping us get all this together. And follow us on our social media, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, everything. And go to marvelsnap.com. Sign up for the beta. It starts soon. We'd love to play some games with you. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Kneel before Galactus.
Tak na pierwszy rzut oka to wygląda jak straszna kurwa kupa, nie? Nie ukrywam, że chyba dosłownie pierwszy raz w historii nie czuję emocji, jak widzę karciankę. Znaczy, jak widzę zapowiedź karcianki. Natomiast jednego nie odmówię, bo faktycznie jeżeli chodzi o to, jak to wszystko wygląda, to wygląda zajebiście, nie? Tylko, że to jest tak napierdolone efektów, że ja się zgubiłem. Second dinner 48 pracowników. O chuju złoty. To pamiętam, jak mieli 4 czy 5. Chyba że mieli 4, ale tych głównych, a może inżynierów mieli ten więcej czy coś. Nie wiem. Nawet nie wiedziałem, że jest taka strona. Kurwa, fajna. CEO Hamilton Chu? A to nie... A to nie Ben Broad założył to? Dobra, jebać, mało istotne. To śledzisz może fizyczne? Nie. Skoro nie mają przychody. To nie się to? Nie wiem.
Greetings. This is Ben
Nie ma Ben. Tylko błagam się, nie śmiej się.
Broad from Second Dinner. And ooh, I got a couple full games of Marvel Snap to show you today. I'll pause them to cover some high-level details and strategy. I can't wait to show it to you. Let's jump in. So today I'm going to be playing a ranked match. There's going to be something at stake here. The game is all about the Cosmic Cube. One Cosmic Cube gives you ultimate power, but what's better than one Cosmic Cube is every Cosmic Cube from every dimension in the multiverse. That's what Marvel Snap's about. That's how we determine your rank. So the more Cosmic Cubes you have, the higher your rank on the ranked leaderboard. The winner of this match is going to win one Cosmic Cube, and the loser is going to lose one Cosmic Cube, and your rank is going to go either up or down based on that. My opponent today is Hamilton, and I'm playing a deck that tries to buff my own cards, and the first location here is Wakandan Embassy. Wakandan Embassy gives +2 power to cards in both players' hands. So all the cards that started in my hand are going to get an extra little bonus here. Every location has a different, unique ability. We don't know what the other two are going to be just yet. They're going to reveal themselves next turn and the turn after that. The goal of the game is to win 2 out of 3 locations.
Celem gry jest wygranie. Fuck yeah, dzięki. Czy mogę wejść? No pisało, że muszę za jakiś ten abonament kupić, żeby zobaczyć to.
I win 2 out of 3 locations, then I win the game. Now I win locations by playing my cards at them, and every card has.
Wygrywa lokację, grając karty tam. Dobra, no już wyłączam chuj moda.
It's power to a location, and if you have more power on your side of the location than your opponent has on their side of the location, then you're winning that location. You gotta win 2 out of 3 to win the game. So it's turn 1. I have 1 energy to spend. You get a little more energy each turn. Only 1 card I have in my hand that costs 1 is Yondu. Yondu is going to add 2 power to a location, and also when he reveals himself to my opponent, he's going to destroy the top card of my opponent's deck, which will give me a little more information about what kind of deck my opponent is playing here. Now, turns are played simultaneously in this game, so while I am thinking about what I want to do, my opponent's thinking about what they want to do, and when we both end the turn, we reveal our choices to each other. Yondu destroys Nightcrawler there.
Dobra, chwila, powtórzymy sobie tą turę jeszcze raz.
Gotta win 2 out of 3 to win the game. So it's turn 1. I have 1 energy to spend. You get a little more energy each turn. Only 1 card I have in my hand that costs 1 is Yondu. Yondu is going to add 2 power to a location, and also when he reveals himself to my opponent, he's going to destroy the top card of my opponent's deck, which will give me a little more information about what kind of deck my opponent is playing here. Now, turns are played simultaneously in this game, so while I am thinking about what I want to do, my opponent's thinking about what they want to do, and when we both end the turn, we reveal our choices to each other. Yondu destroys Nightcrawler there. My opponent plays Hawkeye, which gives him a little bonus.
If you play a card here next turn, lose 2 power.
If he plays another card to that location next turn. So that's a little bit of a hint for me that he might play another card to the Wakandan Embassy next turn. And the middle location here is Avengers Compound. It says on turn 5, all cards must be played here. So I know I'll have to play a card to Avengers Compound on turn 5. The game is only 6 turns long. It's pretty short, and you have to be winning 2 out of 3 locations at the end of turn 6 in order to win the game. So I have a few options here on turn 2. I could play Mr. Sinister, who splits in half and both.
Add a sinister clone to this location with the same power.
creates a copy of himself. And I can play Forge, who has already been buffed by Wakanda.
Give the next card you play 2 power.
Embassy, and gives the next card I play +2 power. So actually Mr. Sinister is quite good with that buff because he will split and get 2 more powerful copies. My opponent played Star-Lord, which normally would be quite good because if he guesses where I'm going to play, he gets an extra bonus. But he played it to Wakanda Embassy to buff his Hawkeye, and I didn't play there, so he didn't get the bonus. So it's turn 3. Let's see what the third location is going to be. The Space Throne.
Only 1 card can be played for each player.
So it says only 1 card can be here for each player. Well, that's very interesting. Normally I want to play a bunch of cards to try and get the highest power I can, but Space Throne means I should just play my highest card, I think. It will overcome my opponent's highest card at that location. I played Forge last...
Jeszcze raz, bo się zgubiłem.
Try and get the highest power I can, but Space Throne means I should just play my highest card, I think. It will overcome my opponent's highest card at that location. I played Forge last turn, so the next card I play is going to have +2 power. So I'm going to play Brood, and Brood is going to make 2 extra copies of itself, and that's great with Forge because all of the copies will have 2 extra power. Oh, my opponent played Electro, which gives... destroys an enemy 1-cost card at that location, so it destroys my Yondu, but I get 2 extra Broodlings. I have a lot of 6-power Broodlings now at Wakanda Embassy. I have 18 power there. That's huge. It's turn 4. We're over halfway through the game here at this point. And next turn, I will have to play to Avengers Compound. I really want to get Namor, as big as I can get Namor. So I'm going to play Nakia here, and that buffs all the cards in my hand by giving all of them +2 power.
Give all cards in your hand +2 power.
I don't want to waste any energy, so I'm gonna play Ant-Man as well. It's a little bit
If you have 3 other cards here +3 power.
risky because you can only have 4 cards at a location. Playing Ant-Man means that I won't be able to play any more cards to Wakanda Embassy. It gives my opponent a lot of information about how strong I am there. But it's going to be a lot of power. I feel pretty good about being able to win Wakanda Embassy, and so I'm not too worried about giving away that information. Nakia buffs all the cards in my hand, giving them +2 power. My Namor's getting bigger and bigger, which is really helpful for me to try and affect my strategy. Oh, my opponent plays Spider-Man. Oh, no.
Your opponent can't play cards at this location next turn.
Spider-Man webs up a location, making it so you can't play there next turn, and because of Avengers Compound, I have to play there and nowhere else, so I actually can't play any cards this turn. I can't even play Namor to the Space Throne. This is terrible for me. I just have to do nothing and end my turn. I drew Captain America. He's useless. Mr. Sinister, useless. I just have to watch while my opponent does whatever they want to bolster their own side. That is terrible for me. And it looks like they're going to play Iron Man. Oh, no. Iron Man doubles the power at a location. So now he's got 14 power at Avengers Compound. So my play is just to play Namor to Space Throne.
If this is your only card here.
Maybe get a little extra power to try and win tiebreakers by playing Mr. Sinister to the middle location. But this is not looking great for me. If he has a big enough card at the Space Throne, I'm definitely going to lose. Something really important to note about the last turn of the game is that the cubes at stake will double at the end of the game, which means at this point, it is my last opportunity to think about, am I going to win this game or am I going to lose this game? Because if I'm going to lose, I should bail out right now and retreat while the stakes are still at 1. But if I stay in and see how this game ends, then I have to risk 1 more cube. So the winner, if I stay in, the winner's...
Czekaj, co kurwa? Nie rozumiem, o co tu chodzi.
While the stakes are... means at this point, it is my last opportunity to think about, am I going to win this game or am I going to lose this game? Because if I'm going to lose, I should bail out right now and retreat while the stakes are still at 1. But if I stay in and see how this game ends, then I have to risk 1 more cube. So the winner, if I stay in...
No to tu, żeby zagrać, musisz jakąś kostkę postawić?
...is going to lose 2 cubes. It'll be a little bit more of an impactful game towards my rank. And I'm feeling pretty good. I got Namor pretty high. I think I'm going to win this game, so I'm sticking it out. We'll see how it goes. So Namor gets a big bonus because he's the only card to location, so he goes up to 14. Mr. Sinister not doing too much right now, but giving me a little extra power.
Magneto!
My opponent plays Magneto. Magneto grabs all the 3 and 4 cost cards and moves them to that location, but there's no room for any more cards because the Space Throne can only have 1 card in it.
Czekaj, co?
Moves them to that location, but there's no room for any more cards because the Space Throne can only have 1 card in it, so that's less power than Namor thanks to my Nakia, which means I win that location, which means I win 2 out of 3 locations, and I've won the game, and the cubes have doubled, so I get 2 cubes, moving myself even further up the ranks.
Nie rozumiem tego z tymi cubami. To są punkty. W ostatniej rundzie stawka wzrasta, bo wygrasz 2 punkty albo stracisz. A w przedostatniej rundzie możesz się wycofać, jak wiesz, że przegrasz, żeby stracić... A, okej. Jak wam się podoba? Reasumując, macie 3 lokacje. Pierwsza odkrywa się na początku, druga w drugiej turze, trzecia w trzeciej turze. Chyba wszystkie są losowe, tak mi się wydaje. Macie tą energię tak jak manę, 6 tur maksymalnie i se gracie karty nie wiedząc co przeciwnik zagra i wygrywa ten, kto będzie miał więcej punkcików na danej lokacji. Lubię tą ciszę jak zadaję pytanie, nie? Wtedy czuję się tak jakbym był streamerem. Lekkie podobieństwo do Gwinta. Tak. Trochę pozmieniane, bo macie ograniczone miejsca, nie macie jakichś tam 3 tych różnych, no ale podobieństwo do Gwinta jest. Podobieństwo jest też do Legendy 5 Kręgów. Pierwszy film myślałem, że totalne gówno. Zgadzam się. Za dużo się dzieje, za małe obrazki. Zgadzam się. Ale ten film trochę pomógł. Zgadzam się. I w sumie taka faktycznie fajna, szybka gierka. Zgadzam się. Znaczy, po tym pierwszym filmie stwierdziłem, ja pierdolę, co za gówno. Ale ładne. A po drugim, naprawdę mi się to podoba. To prawda, nie wydaje mi się, żeby to była gra, która się jakoś dobrze na streamie ogląda, czy tym bardziej nagrywa. Ale jeżeli chodzi o gameplay, to wydaje się być całkiem spoko. Jedyne, co mnie martwi, i to dosyć mocno, to fakt, że... Znaczy, może nie jedyne, co mnie martwi. Bo martwi mnie to też, że na przykład nie ma podziału żadnego na klasy, czy frakcje, czy cokolwiek. Ale to, co mnie najbardziej martwi, to to, że to będzie jak w Gwincie, kto ma większą cyferkę, nie? Czyli gram 2, a ja gram 3, a ja gram Jopka i wygrałem.
And the first location here is X-Mansion. At the end of turn 3, add a random card here for each player. So we'll have to see how that affects things at the end of turn 3. I have 2 options here. I can play Ant-Man or Yondu. Ant-Man gets a bonus, an ongoing ability to give me a bonus if I have 3 of the cards of the location. I think X-Mansion is the most likely case where I'll be able to have 3 of the cards because it's going to add its own card at the end of turn 3, making that a little bit easier for me. My opponent didn't play anything on turn 1, so here it is turn 2. Middle location is Crimson Cosmos. 1, 2, and 3 cost cards can't be played here. I only have 1, 2, and 3 cost cards, so that's not great for me. I do have 2 energy to spend this turn, so I'm going to play Rocket Raccoon if I...
If your opponent played a card here this turn, plus 2 power.
guess correctly where my opponent's going to play, I'll get a little bit of a bonus there for Rocket Raccoon. I can also play Yondu because I have an extra energy to spend. And I'll toss Yondu over to the right location, and it destroys the top card of my opponent's deck. I did guess correctly where my opponent's going to play, so I got that extra boost for Rocket Raccoon. Yondu destroys Star-Lord, that's a bummer. And Electra destroys the Rocket Raccoon I just played, that's unfortunate. So third location here is Nowhere. When you play a card here, destroy it. So I got very lucky that I got Yondu in before it revealed, and so it didn't get affected by its trigger. It's huge for me because my opponent may not be able to get a card into Nowhere. Now any card that he plays there is going to be immediately destroyed, so he's going to have to be pretty crafty to be able to sneak something in there, and I've already got a winning position at that location. So I'm going to play a Koye. Koye says add 2 power to every card in your deck. So every card I draw from now on will get a bonus. And this is turn 3. So after this turn, we're going to see what pops out of X Mansion here. Hopefully it's something good for me. Here goes a Koye, giving me +2 power to every card in my deck. My opponent played Rogue! Oh no, no, Rogue! If she touches somebody, she steals their power. So she's gonna fly over and touch Ant-Man, stealing his ongoing ability. And now Ant-Man does nothing and Rogue has Ant-Man's power. And let's see what pops out of the X-Mansion. Death is great for me. 12 power is humongous. And my opponent flips Hobgoblin. Oh no, he has -8 power, but Hobgoblin flies over to my side of the location, giving me -8 power and taking the last slot at X-Mansion, which is absolutely terrible for me because even though I'm winning that location, my opponent knows I can't get more than 6 power there. It should be easy for my opponent to be able to come up with enough power to win there. At least I'm winning nowhere right now, but this is a really tough turn. I don't really have anything I can do that's very effective. I can't play any of these cards at the middle location because of its effect. So I could play something to nowhere, but it's going to just do its on reveal and then get immediately destroyed. So Nakia could buff the cards in my hand, but that doesn't help that much. I can't play them anywhere that matters.
Ale arty VFX-y jak karty wchodzą na stół są prześliczne. No, nie no, w chuj dobre. Jeżeli chodzi o grafikę w tej gierce, to wymiata.
I'm going to play Brood to the right. It's going to summon Broodlings. They're not played, they're just added, so they don't get affected by Nowhere's triggered effect. Gives me a little bit more power to Nowhere in case he does find a way to sneak a card into that location without playing it. So there goes Brood, he dies. There's Nightcrawler, so that's a way to sneak a card out into Nowhere. Nightcrawler can move once a game. Ironheart can buffs 3 of your cards, so actually has a little bit of stronger Nightcrawler now, which is significant because if I hadn't played the Broodlings, then my Yondu would have been defeated by my opponent's Nightcrawler. So this is tough. I could just play Namor this turn, but I think I'm going to play Nakia. It's going to get destroyed, but it's going to buff Namor just that little bit more, which is helpful because I think it'll be the only card I end up playing to Crimson Cosmos, and I want it to be as strong as it possibly can be. And I'm looking at my board right now, and I'm thinking, I've got Nowhere. I feel good about that. My opponent's going to get X-Mansion. That's not great, but I have a big Namor, and I just won a game with a big Namor. I feel like I'm probably going to win this one too, so I'm going to snap. And when you snap, you say...
Tą gierkę robili 5 lat? 4. Mieli robić coś na licencji Disneya czy coś takiego. Mieli robić coś na licencji Marvela I zrobili.
I'd like to double the stakes. I feel really, really good about winning this game, so I would like to play for more cubes. And your opponent is thinking, you know, wow, okay, I could retreat right now for the one. I'd like to play for more stakes. I just won a game with a big Namor. I feel like I'm probably going to win this one too, so I'm going to snap. And when you snap, you say to your opponent, I'd like to double the stakes. I feel really, really good about winning this game, so I would like to play for more cubes. And your opponent is thinking, you know, wow, okay, I could retreat right now for the 1. If I stay in, I risk 2. The winner's going to win 2, the loser's going to lose 2. Is that worth it? And they must be very confident. Maybe I should bail, or maybe they're bluffing me, and they want me to leave because they have a crappy hand, and they want to see me leave now and win at least 1 cube for them. They decided to stay in, so Nightcrawler moves to Nowhere. That's interesting. They're no longer winning X-Mansion, and it's not enough to win Nowhere. Nakia dies. Iron Man! Oh, well, that's really interesting. Well, 0 times 2 is still 0. So they're not winning it right now, but any card they play there...
Disney nie wykupił Marvela? A może. Jak przeglądam listę pracowników Second Dinner, to chyba 2/3 było wcześniej w Blizzardzie. No przecież teraz jest chyba z 5 firm, które są pełne pracowników Blizzarda. Second Dinner i ten cały CEO. Jak on się nazywał? Nie Mark Hamilton, tylko Mike Morhaime. On założył chyba 3 firmy jakoś, czy jedną firmę, która ma 3 firmy, coś takiego.
Next is going to be humongous. It's going to be very hard for me to deal with. They play Hulk or something.
Plus jeszcze ten, co był Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls dyrektorem, też założył jakąś firmę.
22 power. Namor's not enough to deal with something like that. They're going to have a huge... Oh no, they snapped also. Well, that's terrible for me because if that just guarantees in my mind that they're going to have some huge card there. Why would you snap if you didn't think you were going to easily overcome my Namor? So yeah, if they snap now, the final cube's going to be at 8 because the cube's been doubled twice. Once by the end of game double that happens at the end of every game, and once because my opponent just snapped. So in a normal game on the ranked ladder here, I would absolutely retreat. I'm looking at a potential 8 cube loss here if I lose this game. I would rather just lose the 2 cubes. And I think, yeah, with Iron Man there, it's just, that's a lot of power coming down to Crimson Cosmos. I'm just not confident that I'll be able to beat that. I'd rather lose 2 cubes than 8. So I'm going to retreat. I'm going to bail out of this game. Now, because I'm showing the game off for the first time here, I'll stick it out to show you how this would have gone if I had stayed in. But yeah, there's no chance I think I win this game, especially because my opponent just snapped to let me know he's got a great play here on turn 6. Oh, he played 2 cards. He's going to try and go for expansion as well. Rock Slide, that's only 6 power. Doubled, it's not enough to defeat my Namor. Which means that if I had stayed in here for real, I would have won this game. It was a bluff. He was trying to get me to concede so we could win the 2 cubes instead of having me stay in to win 8. Wow! I would have bought that bluff hook, line, and sinker if it was a real game. That is not what I expected. Rock Slide is not big enough to win that middle location. And because I stayed in, I won 8 cubes because I snapped, my opponent snapped, and the end of game double all add up to the biggest win I could possibly get on the ranked ladder here. 8 full cosmic cubes. That's Marvel Snap. It's so fast, it's so fun, and we can't wait to see what kind of decks you'll create. So go sign up for the beta today at marvelsnap.com. Thanks for watching. We'll see you online.
Nie wiem, znaczy nie wydaje mi się, że żeby to był jakiś giga hit, nie wiadomo co i tak dalej, ale jednocześnie chętnie bym sobie w to pograł. Ja pierdolę, co ta ankieta taka długa. O nie, nie ma telefonu Razera. Dobra, to zaznaczę Xiaomi. Dziesięć Pro, brzmi dobrze. No takiego zgłoszenia na betę to kurwa jeszcze nie widziałem. Jest, udało mi się wypełnić. Nie wiem, znaczy strzelałbym, że to raczej wielki hit nie będzie na skalę światową. Jakiegoś wielkiego sukcesu nie odniesie. Natomiast ogólnie to wygląda nawet fun to play. I nawet fajnie by sobie było poklikać, ale to jest gra na parędziesiąt godzin max, imo. A jak tam jest 150 ziomków, to łączenie tych ziomków to jest takie łączenie pod tytułem no zagraj tego, zbufuj wszystko inne, to jak w Gwincie. Więc to raczej nie ma jakiejś takiej długiej przyszłości, ale tak do zagrania paru gier wydaje się być spoko.